What the hell's going on, people? This is Periodik, and you see the title of the video. We are jumping back into Dragonball Z Dokkan Battle. We're jumping back into the 350 million downloads, global downloads reach. Now I'm messing it all up. Anyway, we're in part 2, and a bunch of characters have come out. But we're going to be making a list, a pre-LR tier list, because that is going to be coming out at the end of the month when the brand new LR Vegeta and when the Krillin and Gohan come out. But I wanted to kind of give you a from the hip, right? A shot from the hip, just off the top of the dome, top 10 LR list. There's no way people will get angry.
Hit my thought. I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sensing my home.
Hey, before we get into the video, I just want to give a shout out to this month's members. I appreciate all of you guys. And if you want to contribute to the channel, but you don't want to have to sign up for a monthly payment type of thing, you can go into any one of my videos, this one included, and scroll down here to the thanks button. This is actually really cool. You're able to contribute, leave a highlighted comment below, and have a nice little animation on the YouTube video. Or you can just watch, subscribe, and like. So here it is, number 1 through number 10. We even have a JP only down here and all the summonable LRs. So this is going to be a pretty quick video. It's not going to be as, intense as my normal LR tier list, and we're not going to have a bunch of characters. I also want to preface saying that I'm not like super confident in this. I can definitely be swayed with a proper argument if you think a character should go from like 9 to 2, or if you think a character left off of the list should be on here, right? This is just kind of like off the top of the head, how I feel at this certain moment, which can potentially change tomorrow. It can potentially change in an hour from now. But I just wanted to give you my thoughts on who I think is currently 1 through 10. Also, I don't really like doing 1 through 10s because it's like, how do you really judge a character? Do you judge them based off of offensive ability, defensive ability? And then in terms of defense, are we talking about like defense stat? You know, how high can they stack? How good are they turn 1? How much damage can they negate? Like, what is what is the criteria? How do you rate support abilities where you're buffing up the rest of the team? How do you rate, nuking as opposed to multiple attacks? So Kale and Caulifla do multiple attacks that do a lot of damage per turn, but someone like, Super Saiyan 2 Tech Gohan does a one-shot, a big shot. So how do you really rate that? So this is just, overall my opinion. So let's get started. And at number 10 is going to be, we're including Extreme Z Awakenings, and so we're including Goku Frieza. Let's head over to the Goku Frieza, just go over what they do very quickly. Representative Universe 7, the best lead in the game, 177% across the board. They're also a Tech 120% lead. With their EZA, their 12 and 18 key raises their defense, which they just lacked so much, right? They lacked a ton of defense. Their 12 key lowers attack, and their 18 key lowers attack and defense. That's important because it boosts up another part of their passive. So they give themselves 77% attack and defense when they attack. So you don't really want to put them in the first slot if the enemy is attacking you before you get to attack. You never want to do that. They give themselves an additional 77% attack and defense when doing an ultra super attack, and they give themselves another 77% attack if the enemy is in any kind of status ailment. So attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed. And obviously this Goku Frieza both lowers attack and defense on the 18 key. And then if you're having any key issues, don't worry about it. They give themselves 1 key up to 7 every single turn, which is absolutely insane. And then of course their link skills are god tier for the universal survival representative of universe 7 type teams. So you got the over and a flash, experienced fighters, solid support, shocking speed, tournament of power, fierce battle, and legendary power. They're just offensive monsters. And now with their raising defense and their super attacks, then they're defensive beasts as well. Just don't let them get hit before they attack. That's the big thing with them. So there's number 10, LR Goku Frieza. Number 9. Let's move straight up to number 9. And yeah, Strength Ultra Instinct Goku. I think people are kind of underestimating how good this guy is because he has to stack, to be able to build up to his offensive, ridiculousness. But remember, he does incredible stuff at turn 1. He's got a 70% chance to dodge for 7 turns. 70% chance to dodge for 7 turns is insane. He turns off enemies' guard for the turn. That's something that is not talked about enough. He turns off enemies' guard. He's a Realm of God leader, but that sucks, right? He gives himself 77% attack and defense. And every time he dodges, he gives himself an additional 11% attack and defense, capping at 77, and 1 ki, capping at 7. And what's even crazier is unlike some characters who have a percent chance for like the first 5 turns, 7 turns, 10 turns, and then they lose it, this guy goes from 70% chance to dodge to 50% chance to dodge. So that's still absolutely insane. And then his link set is crazy. Kamehameha, Prepare for Battle, Godly Power, Over to Flash, Tournament Power, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. And just kind of put in perspective how good he gets after he dodges a few times. After he dodges 7 times, which is not going to be hard, he's sitting at 213% attack and defense. And he's bypassing guard. So he could never hit weak. He could never hit weak. This dude is very, very strong still. Link set is insane. And as you guys know, the amount of categories that he's on is ridiculous. Some of the best categories in the game. Kamehameha, Goku's Family, Representative Universe 7, Pure Saiyans, right? Realm of Gods, like all these real top tier categories. He's absolutely ridiculous. So we are putting, let me actually move him up because I neglected to do so. Where are you, my boy? There you are. We're putting the boy at number 9. So there you go, Strength UI Goku. I definitely think is better and more versatile than Tech Goku and Frieza, even though they do more damage. Let's just get that out of the way right now. They do a lot more damage. But Goku is just really, really solid. Another character that's really, really solid, and some of you guys may disagree with this, but I think just people aren't really seeing the value in him. Strength Turles Army. Strength Turles Army, Team Turles, just ridiculous. Terrifying Conqueror lead, but the leader skill sucks. Who cares? 12 ki, 30% chance to stun. 18 ki, 50% chance to stun, plus attack rates for that 1 turn. That's not really that important, but 50% chance to stun is huge. 130% attack and defense. Keep in mind he's an LR, so you're taking that 130% and you're adding it, or you're multiplying his base stats, which at a LR are high. And on top of that, he's a Terrifying Conqueror's support, 3 ki and 30% attack and defense. That's insane, right? An LR that is a support to one of the best categories in the game. On top of that, 6 ki and attacks effective against all types when the target enemy is stunned. Hello, he's got a 30% chance to stun on his 12 and 50% chance to stun on his 18 ki super attack. So that's pretty good, right? And then not to mention, if you're on a team that has orb changers or just a lot of ki support, once he gets to 24 ki, his super attacks are effective against all types. Effective against all types. And, oh, by the way, he's got a 50% chance of launching an additional super attack on top of that. So the amount of damage this man can do is absolutely insane. And then he's got one of the most interesting active skills in the game. If you drop below 60% HP, you can give yourself 24 ki. And you can do that twice. Or if you wait 8 turns, you can do that active skill. Give yourself 24 ki. So that essentially gives you that guaranteed effective against all types and 50% chance to launch that additional super attack. Very, very interesting. And what's even better is his link skill. Listen, Destroyer of the Universe is probably his only dead link on here, but Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, Prepared for Battle, Brutal Beatdown, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, everything good. And then he's on some great categories. Planetary Destruction, Space Traveling Warriors, Movie Boss, Terrifying Conquerors, Final Trump Card. Even joined forces can work. Just very, very strong indeed. And LR Turles, yeah, man. People underestimate the boy. I don't know what's going on with that. Next up, number 7, LR Bootanks. Now, some people might think he's higher, and honestly, I wanted to put him higher. But let's go over what he does. So he's a power absorption and Majin power lead, 4 key, 130% HP, 170% attack and defense, which I prefer. Now, power absorption is nice. Majin power is a little bit smaller. I would have liked if he was a Majin Buu Saga lead. That would have been spectacular, but he's not. It is what it is. His 12 key is going to stack attack. His 18 key is going to stack defense. Now, with this guy, that's not a problem because he can always get his 18 key. Almost always, right? Because of his passive. He's recovering 12% HP at the start of turn, which I like. 120% attack and defense, again, based off of LR stats, is very high. And he gains an additional key if he's grabbing a type orb. So for every strength orb, he's getting 2 key. AGL orb, 2 key. Tech orb, 2 key. Int orb, 2 key. Physical orb, 3 key. And he's got a 30% chance to launch an additional super attack. So extremely powerful. Now, with his active skill, it's a transformation. So if his HP is 50% or more, and 4 turns have passed, then he'll turn into Majin Buu Ultimate Gohan, or Buuhan. He loses his stacking ability, but his 12 key raises his attack for that 1 turn. His 18 key raises the attack for 1 turn, but does Mega Colossal damage. And his 12% HP recovery at the beginning of the turn now turns to 10, but his 120% attack and defense goes to 150. He's launching a guaranteed additional attack, still has a 30% chance to become a super attack, but before, there was no guaranteed additional. It was just a 30% chance to launch a super. Now it's a guaranteed additional, and that additional has a 30% chance to become a super attack. He's still giving himself that key mechanic, but on top of that, for the first 5 turns, enemy is sealed, and he's giving himself 5 key. So that's really, really good. And of course, now he gains big bad bosses on top of shocking speed, wall standing tall, Majin, fierce battle, legendary power, metamorphosis. Very Majin type leads, right? Or Majin type links. And then of course the categories that are on, that he's on, insane. Majin Buu Saga, just one of the best categories in the game. So this dude is absolutely, absolutely incredible. Just fantastic. And I think everybody on the top 10 is unbelievably good. Like so damn good you can't even you can't even figure out. It's just too ridiculous. And the next guy that's just as ridiculous, if not a little bit more, and that's why I have him as number 6 and not below, is a spiky-haired man. He's a legendary Super Saiyan. He is the Strength Broly at number 6, the indestructible Saiyan Evil. Of course, Extreme Z Awakened. Leader skill doesn't matter. Strength 120%, whatever. It's his super attacks that really do the job, and his passive. So his super attacks, raising attack and defense for 1 turn on the 12 key and the 18. But the difference is the 12 key, as you guys know, attacks all. It attacks all. His 18 key attacks just once. So you actually want to do the 12 key as much as possible. Now, if you're facing just one enemy, obviously go for the 18 key, but if you're facing multiple enemies, which is probably why you're bringing the Strength Broly along, do the 12 key. His passive, 50% attack and defense. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. That is the reason why I do not have him higher. Some people consider him the best LR in the game. Some people put him in the top 3. Some people have him in the top 5. I have him right below that because he's sitting at 50% attack and defense. Now, if you put him in slot 1, attacking turn 1, and he gets hit before he's able to attack, he can take some serious damage. But if you let him super attack, he's golden because he gains an additional 50% attack and defense and is launching that additional super attack if he supers. So if you get him to 12 or 18 key super, he's going to automatically do another 12 key. If he's facing pure or hybrid Saiyans, he's giving himself 5 key. If you're facing Goku's family, attacks guaranteed to hit, will never dodge. Doesn't matter what event you're in. You can be up in the, legendary Goku events where the boy's dodging all over the place, MUI and all that stuff. Doesn't matter. He's hitting. He's going to hit. And oh, by the way, the attack will be effective against all types. So absolutely ridiculous. Link's good for like evil Saiyan type characters, right? Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, Berserker, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Berserker does suck. It's just a bad Link. Like, you have to be below 50% HP for it to activate. It's just not really that good. But everything else about him is absolutely fantastic. So Broly, very, very strong. Now let's get into the top 5. Top 5, the 5th best unit in the game, in my opinion, the Strength Vegito, aka Goku Vegeta. Just ridiculous character. Does everything, really. Does everything. It feels like multiple developers came up with 3 different characters, and then the head of the studio just said, just put him to one character. Right? He's a Battle of Wits and Majin Buu Saga lead, which are 2 of the best categories in the game, right? His 12 and 18 key is the same, just one does raising attack and defense, colossal damage for that one turn, and then the 18 key does the same, but it's mega colossal damage. 120% attack and defense, just like the LR Bootanks, but he's got a 30% damage reduction, which is was bigger than you think, right? Because it's he's going to have high defense because it's 120% defense off of LR stats, and then 30% damage reduction on top of that, which is fantastic. He's got the same mechanic as Bootanks, giving himself extra ki when he grabs orbs, type orbs, and he's got that same 30% chance to super attack. Saiyan Warrior Race, Experienced Fighters, Saiyan Lineage, Shocking Speed, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. His fusion is a little bit different. You have to be below 77% HP on the 4th turn of battle or beyond to transform. But the beautiful thing, just like the LR Bootanks, is you can choose to transform. You don't have to. You can choose to transform. And if you do, he turns into one of the most damaging units in the game. Now, he loses defensive bonus, which sucks, but he does go from the damage reduction. But he does go from 120 to 150%, defense. He's got a 30% chance to crit. When you transform, you gain back 50% HP. The super attacks stay the same, but now he's countering normal attacks with tremendous power. And on top of that, which is crazy, he's giving himself that same 5 key for the few turns like Bootanks, except instead of 5, it's 10, and you're able to see enemy super attacks for those 10 turns. So just ridiculous. A bunch of his links change. He does gain Super Saiyan, Power Bestowed by God, Fuse Fighter, and Kamehameha. But man, oh man, is this guy absolutely insanely powerful, right? Absolutely insanely powerful. The unfortunate thing is that he's going to be kind of capped in that 200k defense area. So against really, really, really hard-hitting super attacks, he could be in trouble. He could be in trouble. But with that said, if you get him to super attack first, kind of like the Broly, then you're in good shape because he's going to be raising his defense. So just a ridiculous unit that does so many different things, leads 2 of the best, categories in the game. Just ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. Just absolutely insane. Next up is the Blue Man himself, Evolution Blue Vegeta, the true warrior race. So the reason why this guy is above the others is because a few different things. Number 1, representing Universe 7 lead. Ridiculous lead, 170% across the board. Powerful comeback, not a bad category either. But it's his super attack mechanic. It's a super attack mechanic. Colossal damage on the 12 key, Mega Colossal on the 18 key. 50% chance to crit when he does a super attack. 50% chance to crit when he does a super attack. But if he does an additional super attack, that is a 100% chance. That's pretty ridiculous. That's pretty crazy. That doesn't really make any sense. But it is what it is. So if you just throw unbelievable amounts of additional into this guy, he's going to be critting left and right. And on top of that, LR stats starts with 150% attack and defense, right? That's pretty high. That's a good amount. And then, even with his defense that high, he still starts with 10% damage reduction. Every time he gets hit, he gains another 10% damage reduction in that turn, caps at 30%. Pretty crazy. Every time he attacks, he gives himself 1 key, caps at 5. So goodbye to key issues. Just like the Vegito, he's got a 30% chance of launching an additional super attack. So this man at 55% starts with 30% additional and 50% crit. Unbelievable. And then, of course, you have the revival mechanic, which I don't put too much stock in, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of it, but his is a little bit easier to get. you got to get hit 7 times. And then if your HP going into the turn is under 50% HP and he's on the rotation, if any of the characters on that rotation die, you'll be revived with 70% HP. So it's a little mechanic that may save you. You may never see it. It just is what it is. But his active skill is something that you can see, because this active skill is fantastic. Wait 4 turns. Wait 4 turns, be above 50% HP, and then you can do Mega Colossal damage to all enemies. That's fantastic. Works in so many different things, including this brand new Breaking the Siege Bardock Frieza event, right? Works really, really well. Links, Prodigies, Royal Lineage, Godly Power, Prepare for Battle, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Absolutely insane for the categories that he's on. And he's on some of the best. Universal Survival Saga, Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyans, Full Power, Representative Universe 7, Siblings Bond, just ridiculous. Just ridiculous stuff here. Ridiculous stuff. And come on. You don't have to say anything else. Number 3, we're in the top 3 now. Actually insane that we're now in the top 3. And this one may piss people off, but I'll give you the reasons. LR Intelligence Super Saiyan Goku. The brand new boy, Strike of Full Anger, Super Saiyan Goku. Legendary Existence, Super Saiyan category leads. HP and attack 170%, defense 150%. His 12 key super attack raises defense, his 18 key super attack raises attack. That's pretty good. That's a great combination, right? It is essentially the reverse of the LR Bootangs. But in this guy's case, you just want to spam 12 key super attacks. And in this guy's case, it's better suited that he's got 12 key on his on defense on his 12 key, because unlike the Bootangs, he doesn't have a key mechanic that gives him more key for every orb he grabs, right? But with that said, gives himself 2 key, 159% attack and defense. Again, on an LR, that is very high stats indeed. Gives himself an additional super attack, or launches an additional super attack if he gets hit first. So you always want to have him in slot 1, attacking first. If he's not in slot 1, and if he's in slot 2, he gives himself an additional 59% attack, and it's got a 30% chance of launching an additional super attack at that point. It's not guaranteed anymore. It's just 30%. But whatever. Gives himself 1 key up to 3 every turn. If he's facing an extreme class enemy. And if he's facing that extreme class enemy, he's also giving himself 59% attack, which is ridiculous. And then if he's facing Friezas, guaranteed crit. Now, that is my main issue with this unit, is you have to be facing Friezas. Honestly, there's just not a lot of Friezas in this game. Enemies. There's just not a lot. And so you're not going to see that critical hit a lot. If it was Wicked Bloodline, like AGL Bardock, that's a different story, but it's not. Also, if you take a look at some of the hardest events in the game, GT Legendary Goku event, right? God of Destruction event. One of the stages of the collection of epic battles. They're super class units. And so he's not going to be giving himself that extra key or extra 59% attack. Don't get me wrong. You're still going to see it against a lot of enemies, because there are a lot of extreme class enemies. But just for whatever reason, Dokkan Battle has been pumping out a lot of super class enemies in really difficult content. It's kind of weird, but I'm sure they'll turn around on it, and this guy will eventually have more enemies that he can benefit from, and more Friezas that he can benefit from. But for now, it's a little limited. It is. His active skill is incredible, as always. Again, facing extreme class enemy, that HP's got to be below 30% HP, and then he can just kind of finish them off with his active skill. Greatly raises attack, ultimate damage, always good. Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Golden Warrior, Kamehameha, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, and then again, some of the best categories in the game. Pure Saiyans, Full Power, Goku's Family, Super Saiyans, Kamehameha, Saviors, just really, really ridiculous stuff here. Turtle School, all this good stuff. He's incredible. Don't get me wrong. He is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But I have him as number 3. And the person that I have at number 2 will indeed shock you. will indeed scare you, will indeed make you question all your life choices. And that's because I have AGL Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku as number 2. Miraculous Awakening and Representative Universe 7 category lead, 170% across the across the board for both. It's got the same mechanics as Vegeta, where he's got that crit chance, 50% chance to crit, guaranteed on the additionals. Pretty much everything is the same, 150% attack and defense. The difference is instead of damage reduction, he gives himself 70% chance to dodge. And instead of giving himself ki when he attacks, he gives himself ki when he dodges. Now, if he dodges, instead of, it kind of works like the Vegeta. If the Vegeta gets hit first, he gains damage reduction on top of what he already has. This dude gains defense on top of what he already has. So if he dodges first, he gives himself 30% defense for the rest of the turn, which is pretty crazy. Still has that 30% chance to launch the additional super attack. Has the same revival mechanic, except the difference is you have to get hit at least 3 times. Now, that is where you can put a knock on him, because his whole kit is based around dodging damage, evading all attacks. And you have to get hit 3 times, which means that you have to get really unlucky to get hit to trigger that active skill. And then you have to go into the turn that he's in, under 50% HP, and hope that somebody in your turn gets killed so the revival mechanic could kick in. And it sure as hell ain't going to be him, because he's got 70% dodge. So the chances of him getting hit, very slim to none. Obviously, his active skill is exactly what Vegeta's is. The difference is he greatly raises his attack and causes ultimate damage, so it's similar to the Super Saiyan Goku. But one thing I will say is, because he's sitting at 150% defense, which is great, don't get me wrong, that's going to put him at 55% in like the 180k defensive range. And if you have him like rainbowed, he's going to be over 200k. But once again, on very, very difficult content, later stages content where super attacks are hitting you for 400k, even if you're at 300,000 defense, he can get hit very hard if he's not able to give himself that additional 30% defensive bonus. If he just gets turn 1, doesn't dodge, and just gets hit by a super attack, he could cost you the run. It's a very slim chance for that to happen, but it can happen. And that's a problem. And so this brings up the discussion, this brings up the question, is do you factor and appreciate that 70% chance to dodge more, because it is RNG? Do you factor that in more than having who I think is the new #1 LR in the game, AGL Frieza? Because AGL Frieza is consistent. Turn 1, this dude is at 200k defense. And you don't have to worry about him losing his defense later on, because guess what? He stacks defense. So let's go over what he does. First off, Planet Namek Saga category sucks. Anybody who thinks it's like top tier, it's really not, okay? It's really not. You can barely put a team together. If you want to put Frieza and then just put the rest of the Ginyu Force, Easy 8, that's fine. Or if you want to put like, okay, LR AGL Frieza, third form Frieza, this INT final form Frieza, and then like, who do you want to put? Full power. Like, there's just, it's not going to be a good time either way. But Sworn Enemies is powerful. This is a very, very strong category with a ton of fantastic extreme type units, which is what Frieza wants. But just check out what this guy does. Gives himself 2 ki, and instead of giving himself 159% attack and defense, no, he doesn't do that. He gives himself 100% attack and defense. But he gives himself an additional 100% attack and defense for 6 turns. So now, for the first 6 turns, he's sitting at 200% attack and defense, and that's why his defense is so high. Turn 1. And that gives you time. it gives you a few turns to be able to start stacking his defense because his 18 key stacks defense. His 12 key stacks attack. On top of that, he's got the same mechanic. He gets hit first, launches that additional super attack. Guess what that additional super attack is? 12 key. So if you're getting 18 keys on your normal super attack, you're going to stack your defense, and then his guaranteed additional will stack his attack. So you get the best of both worlds there, which is really nice. And then, of course, if you're the second or third, slot attacker, then he's got a 30% chance of launching the additional super attack. But here's the cool thing, right? He may lose that defensive bonus after 6 turns. He keeps half of the attack bonus. But here's where it gets really important. If he's facing superclass enemies, 50% attack bonus and 1 key every turn. But even bigger than that, if he's facing Goku's, guaranteed crit. And guess what is like the most common enemy in the game? Goku. Because he is the main character of the game. And Goku is in literally every single arc that there's ever been. From Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball GT to Dragon Ball Super to Dragon Ball Kai to Dragon Ball Heroes to Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Like, the man is everywhere. So Frieza is able to do crits always. All right. And his active skill is fantastic as well, right? It's the same thing as Goku's, but it's facing superclass enemies, which is just great. Link's skill is incredible as well. Nightmare, Universe's most malevolent, Prodigy, strongest clan in space, big bad bosses, fierce battle, legendary power. It is not difficult with the teams that this guy runs on to be able to get him 18 key super attacks, particularly if you have that third form Frieza next to him, because that guy's giving him key and attack and defense, which is ridiculous, while sharing 5 links. But if you look at some of these categories, right? Transformation Boost, filled with support characters. Wicked Bloodline, filled with support. Terrifying Conquerors, hell, bring the strength Turles. Space Traveling Warrior, hell, bring strength Bojack. It's just absolutely insane the amount of support this guy can get to hit 18 key super attacks. And when you're talking about LR that's doing 8 million attack stats and guaranteed crit against Goku's, while starting with 200k defense and just building upwards from that, I mean, you really can't get any better. You really can't. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. This is my top 10 for now. Again, I am not concrete on it, but this is just how I feel at the moment. I can change my opinion in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 days, 10 days. Who knows? Hopefully you'll be around to see when that opinion is changed. You can do that by clicking the blue join button, become a Boomer champion like Joe V, or gently rub that sub button, gingerly ring that bell button, lovingly kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodic. See y'all in the next video.